Happy Friday, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. So, today is probably the last day of talking vlog or voiceover vlog. Well, I put talking vlog and voiceover vlog in the same category. Anything that involves my voice is going to be talking vlog. So, today is just going to be chore day. I'm just going to do my laundry. I actually wanted to be really lazy today and just postpone it till like Monday or something. But my brain won't allow me. My brain is saying, today is Friday. We shall do some chores and laundry. It's as if that there is some type of fixation in my brain that doesn't allow me to be flexible. On the upside, things get done on that day, even if I don't like it, even if I'm sick, even if I am in a freeze mode like I do. So right now it's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just got out of bed, and I have been in bed for like 14 hours every day nowadays, which I find to be a bit concerning. I haven't neglected my duties or whatever duties I have so far, but it is extremely concerning for my part because I'm afraid that I'm going back to my depressive days, and it's bad because I don't particularly have anyone to help me out. So that's today. I guess I just don't want to alarm anyone. I'm just saying that this is just my reality. The fatigue and the exhaustion is just daily. Is just these little things of feeding myself sometimes takes so much energy. Sometimes I just don't want to eat because it takes energy to get out of bed, to get up, to stand up, to prepare it, to put it into the microwave, to make sure that this rubbish later is going to go into the garbage chute. This day-to-day stuff that actually makes me feel so drained, but I do it, but it is extremely draining. I don't know if normal people does it. I've seen on TikTok this girl that I actually really like as an influencer in Sydney, and she does like 12 hours a day. I remember those days when I used to do 12 hours in the office. Like it's or sometimes I would stay until 1 a.m. I can't imagine how I did it. And or sometimes after work I would still go to Cook's Park, I think that's the name, or maybe it's a different name. There is a pool just in front of St. Mary Cathedral in the city, so just across from Starbucks area over there, I think. There is a St. Mary, sorry, there is a pool that I used to go to after work, and I would swim for an hour because my body would just filled with so much anxiety. And I just can't, I think like now looking back, that was probably the source of my burnout because I was just burning all my adrenalines and my cortisol, yes, stress hormones back then. So now I don't have any more energy because I have borrowed all the future energy back then to be used, and they haven't returned yet. So I'm just still in full burnt out mode, and it's impossible to get out of. And this is just normal existence for me, and it's something I'm not complaining, I'm just explaining because I just have to navigate the world in this way. I guess that is when my obsession with money kind of comes around ever since I was a kid. It's just this need for rest, this need for restoration of my inside. I am eating better though these days. I am pushing myself to eat salads, mainly because I actually like salads, so that's probably helpful. But this Mediterranean salad that I bought from the city Coles is very salty. I guess the hardest part about doing my daily life is the inertia to start doing something. Is this energy that you need to get up and do it. And once I get up and do it, now I don't want to waste it. I don't want to sit down, because if I sit down, I will turn into standby mode again, and that will be very hard to turn back on to active mode and to go mode. So I have to keep going. It's weird because there is this feeling of pressure that we need to get things done before my battery runs out. And I don't know how much battery charge I have left right now, but I'm just gonna keep going. The problem is, if I over exceeded my battery, my physical battery life, then tomorrow I will have the same cycle again like today, which is have been going on for a week or two now, which is, getting out of bed really late. And because I don't have the capacity to monitor my energy level once I get going. I think they call it interoceptions or something, like this inability of not knowing what your body is feeling or going through. Like sometimes you don't know if you're hungry until you're in pain. It's similar like that, I think. So I'm just gonna cook some sushi rice, and I'm gonna fry some ham, because I'm thinking maybe I should just put ham into the sushi rice rather than mixing up with tuna. So I would like to make a different type of rice ball. Basically, it's just going to be rice balls with ham inside. So as usual, I'm not wasting my rice water. It's good for fertilizer. And today is such a good day. And the air is so crisp and so clean. So it's so nice. I really don't like the fact that I'm grumpy while it is such a good weather outside. I feel like it's such a mismatch. I want to be happy too because the weather is really good. So I still have this. I am trying to just use up all the ingredients that I have at home, because I don't want to spend any money. So my brain is saying to me, rather than keep saying you don't have money, why don't you just use up what you do have? And that made me go and turn around and basically look at my pantry and see what I can use up, so I don't have to go out and buy groceries, because I was so tempted to go and buy groceries, maybe going down to Coles to get some pork, but to make ramen. But I have been eating ramen, which is just instant noodles, the past few days actually. So I haven't really been going out or haven't been outside, which is why I'm a bit afraid that I'm going into depressive mode. My body is definitely trying to make me stay in bed for like 2 straight days. In the past, especially during my starvation period, this is what I would do. I would just shut down and stay in bed for up to a week, and probably because I wasn't eating, so I was not going to the loo that often. So I didn't really have to get out of bed, and because I don't have money, I didn't buy any food, so there was nothing going in and out. And I was just trying to numb myself by watching a lot of mukbang videos. So I was just numbing myself with a lot of internet videos, which I'm currently doing with TikTok as well nowadays. So I am seeing a pattern to which I feel I'm reverting or regressing back to that moment, or to that period of really just severe contraction of life. And I feel like I want to do that this weekend. I think it will be good, just because the pressure of just keeping on going, like even little things like now, just feeding myself, recording, editing, even though it takes a lot less time than maybe a normal job would be, it's still burning me out. It's still not, I'm not coping. My body is still saying that this is just too much, this is too much, and it keeps being overwhelmed. And on one side I'm angry, on another side I have to be a good parent to my body, so I can't make it or force it to go
more than what it's capable of doing. It's telling me I can't go further than this, and if I don't listen, then the consequences would be much more severe. I probably will not be out of bed at all, for sure, and the depressive episodes and that desire to unalive myself probably would go so much higher than it already is right now. So it's such a delicate balance of trying to get out of stuck mode or freeze mode and trying to go into a productive type of situation, which going back to that influencer that I was saying, like that worked for 12 hours a day. She went to overseas on the weekend and come back on Monday and then go straight back to work. And I definitely never done that, but I feel like what a life. I wish I had that energy, right? Like, and during the weekend she was still working as well, and she's also starting her own new business. So it's like she has a pet. It's like she's doing all of these things, and here I am trying to. I feel like, yes, you should not compare yourself. That is such a such a really bad move, okay? Because she doesn't have your body and you don't have their body, so what she's capable of doing is never going to be what you are capable of doing. But I'm definitely jealous. Like, she's living. I'm not saying that she's happy. She might have her own problems. She might have to deal with a lot of crap. Like, that's for sure, right? Like, there's a lot of risk that you should be considering. So I'm not saying that I want her life, but I definitely am envious of the energy that she has. And because when you have energy, you basically have time. You can do a lot more if you start your day at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then even if you take a nap for like 2 hours during the day between 12 to 2, you take a siesta, for example, you still have like 7 hours worth of, you can work until 9 o'clock at night and then maybe get ready for bed for an hour until 10, and then you can still get like a 7-hour sleep. So that's huge. That's massive. Like, you can work for 14 hours and sleep. I know, like, there is much more to life, right? But that's what you have suddenly. You have a lot of doors open. Like, she basically has, you see what energy and time can do for you. You can move forward in life so much rather than just staying in bed and trying to get yourself out of it. It's sometimes I feel it's almost like a sleep paralysis, but like an awake paralysis. It's like I'm awake, I'm scrolling TikTok, but I'm not capable of doing anything else. So it's a little bit like that. It's like sleep paralysis, which I still get nowadays, which like my body is basically my mind is awake, but my body is frozen in place, and then I would try to get my body to move, and it's still a bit hard. But these days I do make it a bit of a hack, because I listened to this guy, and this guy was saying sleep paralysis is basically your body in theta mode. In theta mode means like in alpha theta wave mode, means like your brain is in that between stage between awake and asleep, and in that stage you can influence your body to do your bidding. So people say if you want to heal, you should put suggestion when you're in theta mode. So nowadays if I get sleep paralysis, I just basically tell my body heal, rather than spending my time trying to make sure that it's awake and make sure that it moves. So I remind myself, this is theta mode, this is good, we can heal in this mode. So rather than freaking out and trying to make sure my body moves, I would just say, you can heal. My body is a temple. I am healed. Every single cell in my body is healed. I'm energized. My bone is working, and my joint is lubricated really well, and my acne is disappearing. I'm basically using all my sleep paralysis these days as an opportunity to heal my body up. I also recently found out that I am in full rage mode a lot. Like, I'm filled with so much anger, and I think this is pretty common in perimenopausal stage of women's life, and I don't think this is a coincidence at all by any means. I feel like this is the time when your estrogens dropped basically, and you are turning into a man. And I can understand, like, you suddenly, all this female feminine energy is basically being taken back, and you are now filled with so much combative energy. And I'm finding myself still dealing with stuff from childhood. I feel like I'm not able to move on, and I know this is something that I don't want to have. So today I'm basically trying to be a therapist to myself. I'm telling myself, I hear you, you're angry, you're very angry, you're allowed to be angry, of course you are angry. They are crossing so many boundaries of yours and not even apologizing. They're trying to coercively do these things for you. If they're not, and they're trying to manipulate you, of course you are angry. So I'm just trying to be like parenting myself in a way that, if I were someone that I care about, if I were someone that I love, that it would matter what I say to them. And I'm trying to take the focus back from at the other person or the subject of my anger, and turn it into me, turn it into like I'm the character that needs to be focused on, and not the subject of the anger. So I feel like, what is it that I actually want to hear now? Like, what is it that I can do to help myself? Because this is getting ridiculous. I can't just be spending my energy and time towards people that I don't even like. That's like saying like you're paying money to the people that you hate. Like, no, you want to spend money on things that you like, on the people that you like. It's like you can't, I don't want to spend money on, people that I hate. That's just, I want to spend money on people that I love. That's just the way I think it should go. So it's the same with like energy and time and how you spend it, and the anger or resentment. So with that type of mentality, I'm basically trying to recenter it to myself again, trying to make sure that I am telling myself the things that I would tell a child that I love. For example, I would just say to myself, yeah, you have full right to be angry, of course. Yeah, they're treating you so unfairly. Of course you are destined to fail in this particular area of your life because you're not supported. Of course you are angry because they are demanding for you to deliver something, but they never delivered their end of the bargain. Of course you're angry because the whole thing is unfair. If this is a business transaction, or if this is something that is required by law, they're not fulfilling all of these obligations. So you can actually call the cops if this is part of that kind of transactions. So of course you are angry. So I'm just trying to validate my feelings and, just basically refocus the whole thing that is happening in my head, rather than making it about the other person, rather than making it about someone else. I am trying to make it about myself, because it's so difficult to get it to this stage, because I'm so used to of just focusing on other people in my real life, that it takes this vlog maybe 10 months to finally kind of turn it around and make sure that I actually listen to myself. Like, what is it that I actually want? It is definitely a work in progress, and I don't know, I feel like sometimes I can work for a whole 10 decades. No, not 10 decades is 100 years. What am I talking about? Like a decade, and then it's just for this one moment in time. For example, I find myself sometimes doing that. Like, I have this preparation period that is quite long, but the event that I was preparing for, without knowing that I was preparing for it, would just happen in one day, and it would just pass, and suddenly I found myself not wanting to do certain things that I have been doing for a long time. And it is a phenomenon that I'm trying to get used to. I'm trying to convince myself that, this past decade and 2 years are not a waste of your time. This isolation period is not a waste of your time. And I'm trying maybe to rationalize it in some ways, but I'm not sure, because as summer is approaching, as the day becomes brighter and brighter, my energy level is becoming lower and lower, and I'm becoming a lot less wanting to go outside again. And I'm seeing the same pattern that I saw from earlier in the year from these vlogs. It's similar, and I'm returning to that path again, and I'm getting a bit angry. I'm getting a bit frustrated, because it means like I am in that stuck and whiny stage again, and I don't really enjoy it. I feel like I know, like, in life you can't really have so much momentum that it just keeps going and going and going, because life basically, for the most part, it's just events that happen a handful of time, and then there is nothing in between afterwards. I heard a phrase lately, like, you can have a decade of nothing, and then a whole lifetime can happen in a few weeks. And that kind of, I think, has summarized my life. Like, there would be nothing for decades, and then suddenly an event would happen, and then suddenly I'm being thrown into a very different situation all of a sudden, and my life changed, and everything is no longer the same, and it just feels like someone transported another world and then implanted me in it. But I don't want to be in that position anymore. I want to have more control over my life. I want to have a say in my life, but it's quite difficult. I don't know how to navigate it. Anyway, I guess it's an ongoing issues. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. I'm gonna go and finish my chores, and have a good one, guys. Remember, on Monday silent vlogs are back, so no more talking vlog. Okay, one day a week we get a talking vlog. I will see you then. Stay blessed, everyone.